Welcome to another episode of ZANTASTIC. This is the podcast that explores what makes you fantastic so you can grow your business, your influence, your audience, and ultimately make more money. I am coming to you from a balmy 74 degrees on February 3rd here in North Texas. We're having a bit of a heat wave. Things are heating up. And I started talking to a friend of mine over the weekend about their email marketing, and it resonated. You see, I went through a time period where I was using an email service provider, one of those mailing list managing tools, and it just caused so much friction for me, I could barely mail. And I have gotten back into the habit of emailing my list. You can get on the list via my link down below at zant.com. There's a big old sign up form right there. But I'm going to give you another option at the end. If you stick around towards the end, I will have another option that gives you a little bonus. But my friend was having a hard time with their list. They hadn't mailed for a very long time, and they weren't sure how to restart that conversation. They have a small list. People have signed up primarily to get a discount on products, but they haven't mailed to their list for a very long time. And how do you get restarted? So we're going to talk about that and all kinds of problems that people encounter with mailing lists and staying in touch with audiences. But first, what is the benefit of an email list? You might think, well, I want new clients, and how am I going to get people signed up to my list? I got to go do social media marketing. I need my Instagram reels to take off. I need TikTok to take off, and I'm just going to work that angle. Well, here's the thing. If you are building on someone else's platform, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or any other social media platform, if you are building an audience there, that can disappear at a moment's notice. People can switch. They can switch the preferred social media platform, and then the followers that you've built can disappear overnight. I've seen it happen. A number of people who spoke out during the time of COVID that they thought something funky was going on were completely deplatformed. They lost their audience altogether. When you have an email list, sure, the email service provider might decide, well, we don't like your content and we can shut you down, but it's still your list. And if you're downloading your subscribers, you still have all of those email addresses and you can take that somewhere else. Much like your website, you want to make sure that your website is something that you can move from hosting account to hosting account, from one CMS to another, that you have flexibility over the long term of your business, that you're not locked in to one platform. Now with YouTube, where a lot of you are watching this video, or Spotify, if they decide we're just not going to show your kind of content anymore, or we don't like something that you've said, they can shut me down at any time. But once you subscribe to my email list, we have a relationship. In this way, email marketing is very different. You don't lose your audience with a swipe. Now, sure, people can unsubscribe from you. And actually, if they don't want to hear from you again, you want them to unsubscribe from you. You don't want to have to pay rent for someone to live on your email list indefinitely. Once people invite you into their email inbox, there is a different relationship. No longer are you just putting content out there looking for audience to resonate. Now you can say, "Dear Kathy, thanks for being on the list." You can actually personalize the conversation in a way that it feels very personal, that you're not speaking just broadcast to everyone. You can send specific messages to a specific person based on how they signed up for your list. Social media marketing is great, but once someone engages with your content on email, the relationship is much more intimate. It is much more familiar. It is much more personal. It can't be replaced. And it should be the end goal of everything you're trying to do with any of your social media marketing, with your blog posts, with anything else that you're doing. Even if you go to an event and you speak, your last call to action at the end of your speech would be, if you want this PDF that gives you a checklist of everything that I just talked about, get on my email list and set up a specific form on your website that tags them as someone who saw you speaking at a specific event. In this way, you get to start having much more intimate conversations with various segments and even individual people who are on your list. This deepens connections. Now, even marketers at large organizations recognize this. You visit a website and the first thing you see a lot of times is a giant pop-up right in your face that asks for an email address. As long as you provide that email address, you get a discount on future purchases or maybe even a free downloadable resource. There's some kind of benefit that someone gets immediately when they sign up to your list. Not only does that give them an incentive to get on your list, it gives them something of deep value, something that's very personal to them, and it gives you an opportunity to segment your list in a way that you can actually say, okay, well, here are all my people who are very interested in security, and here are all my people who are interested in email marketing. Here are all my people who are interested in social media marketing, and so on. So this way, you can segment your list in a way and have various conversations based upon how that conversation started. With larger platforms like social media, your targeting is not in your hands. Targeting is based on algorithm. It's based on decisions made beyond your control. You don't get to decide, hey, I want to be in front of all of these people. You get to decide that once they are on your list. The other great benefit of having an email list is if you do any kind of social media advertising, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, you can take your email list and upload that into Meta Business Suite and say, here are my customers, and you can retarget those people and actually show them much more personalized ads that invite them to purchase something, to look deeper at some of your products. You get to use your email list as a feedback loop that helps you inform your social media marketing and advertising. This is something that you can't get any other way. Well, you can do it with Facebook pixels on your website. Once you have somebody on your list, you have multiple ways of having a conversation with them. Email marketing has so many benefits with converting people to being actual customers. I think it's because of the personalization and segmentation you can do. I mean, think about it. If someone is just standing on a street corner yelling at you to buy something, what are the chances you're going to buy it? But if your friend says, hey, I had this great experience with this product, you should try it too, are you more likely to buy that product? Statistics show that people are much more open to buying if they have a recommendation from a friend. That familiarity means that they are more likely to make a purchase decision. If you have familiarity with someone in their email inbox, you are more likely to persuade them to a purchase decision. The other great thing that email marketing provides is insights into your audience. You might send out a mailing to 1,000 people and you see that half of them didn't even open, and maybe only 10% of them clicked on a link. This is information that you can use, and it's information that can drive future marketing. For example, let's say half your email list didn't even open. Well, maybe you want to resend an email to them, that same content, but you change the title or you change some of the content within that email. You can say something like, I think you might have missed this and I didn't want you to miss this opportunity. This way you get in front of them because of the feedback you have within your email service provider. Part of the problem with just marketing via blog posts is that people search for an answer to a question. They answer for a solution to a problem. And once they get that answer or they get that solution, they get what they needed to get done, they're off to the next thing. But they don't deepen relationships when you're just looking at blog posts. They're just looking for one and done information. I have a ton of blog posts on my site talking about what it was like to live in Mount Shasta. I don't live there anymore. I have a past experience. I'm sure a lot of those people are on to other blog posts that talk about what it's like to live in Mount Shasta. They're a little more recent. In this way, I am just not building an audience of people who are looking for more of my insights on Mount Shasta. I just don't have current information to serve to those people as well. That's not really my target audience. My target audience is really you, people who are content creators, people who want to be content creators, people who are starting a small business and looking for the best way to build relationships with customers and increase sales. That's really what I'm all about. But I'm about that from sort of a different perspective. I mean, my take on things is, yeah, you can learn about all these tactics. You can learn about email marketing. You can learn about all the right ways of doing things. But ultimately, once you learn the rules, it's time to break the rules. It's time to make marketing 100% intuitively yours. with situational awareness of who your customers are, where they're at, and communicating them in a way that's very personable. That is something you can do so well once you are in someone's email inbox. Let's talk about a few things about email marketing, like pop-ups. I get a lot of people who just hate pop-ups. I think I've become immune to them. I mean, I used to be in the I hate a pop-up camp as a web developer. I saw pop-ups coming and I did not like them. I put the sign-up form somewhere on the site, but the reason why people use pop-ups is they work. They get people to take action, that interstitial that stops them from whatever they're trying to do and encourages them to sign up for a list for a bonus. Everyone does it because it works. Now, I would argue that you let people consume as much content on your site as possible before you do a pop-up. Don't hit them with the pop-up as soon as they pop onto your site. Give them some time to engage before you throw an offer for a free download or a discount or something like that. Get people engaged a little after they've had a chance to get their question answered. In this way, you're not really interrupting them. Another question, how long should an email be? Well, there's different types of emails, right? There's an email newsletter, which can be a lot longer. I send one out once a week, and I just curate all of the content that I've created over the course of a week and put it into one email. Some people click on everything. Some people click on a few things. Some people click on nothing, but it's a weekly newsletter. It is not trying to drive people to one course of action. And when you have a landing page, remember, only one call to action within each individual landing page. And if it's a sales email, it's the same thing. You want one action for each individual sales email that you want that person to take. The email content supports them and nurtures them along the path of making that decision, of getting more information and clicking buy now. If you have a new product that's coming out, you want them to go read about it and purchase. So you want that to be very singular in its purpose. A lot of people will do something called an email sequence. So somebody signs up on your site for a free PDF download of best practices for email marketing, and you have a nurturing sequence that hits their email inbox maybe every 3 days with more supportive information and ultimately a call to action. Maybe you have a course that you're selling on how to do email marketing, and that's the ultimate goal that you're leading them to, but you nurture them along that process so that they understand that if they invest in the education of learning about email marketing as soon as possible, it's going to make all their efforts easier. They're not going to have to learn things the hard way. They can learn from a trusted source who's done it before, and you nurture them along that decision. If it's a higher priced product, people are not going to pull the trigger right away. Think about it. The last time you bought a car, you probably took a long time to buy that car. The car that's in my garage right now, it took me 3 years to make that decision. I test drove so many cars. I said no to so many dealers until I found the car that just felt right. Everything about it felt right. It was the exact car I needed. And boy, it has served me. I have zero buyer's remorse. In fact, sometimes I'll just go in the garage and say, thank God I have this car. It has been perfect for me. But it took me 3 years to get to that point. If you have a higher ticket item that you're selling or a higher ticket service, it's going to take some time. But you want to be there as someone's going along that process, as someone is going through their decision making. Be there and guide them, nurture the relationship, answer their objections, and ultimately guide them to the place where they can make that decision. So you get them on the list, and then over a period of time, guide them to the ultimate decision. And who knows, maybe they'll click buy on email number 2 and you don't even send out email 3, 4, and 5. That can happen. It often does. But in that sense, you are meeting your customer where they're at. You're letting them make a decision where they're at. You're asking for the sale in every single email, but you're ultimately nurturing them and nurturing a relationship, because here's what you don't want. Someone to buy something and have buyer's remorse, to buy something too soon and then realize, oh gosh, I probably would have been just fine without this course. I would have been just fine if I didn't spend this money. Boy, I wish I had that money back. I wish I didn't make this decision. That is the absolute last thing you want any of your customers to feel. At the end of every purchase, you want to make sure that you are solidifying that relationship and dealing with any kind of buyer's remorse in a post-sale sequence. You want to help people find success with the product that they just purchased. I've worked in software, sales, and marketing for a very long time. People will buy at a certain point, and then they have to learn how to use the software. My job as a marketer is to guide them to the process of bringing that software into their organization, finding comfort with all the tools, and finding ultimately the success of creating an effective website by the end of it, or the success of securing their website against hackers. Whatever it is, I have to show them how to use the tool. I have to help them find success, because guess what? In software marketing, there's a renewal. And if you don't help them within the first month of owning a software product and then nurture them a little bit right before the renewal, they're going to drop off and your renewal rates are going to be in the tank. You don't want to experience that. All of your customer touch points are opportunities to sell, to remind them of why they bought your product. Now, do you send the same email to a customer as you do to a prospect? In some cases, yes, because you want your customers to be aware of what's new, what's happening, what opportunities exist, new features, new cool things somebody has done with your product, a new testimonial. You want to send them to existing customers because you want them to feel good about the product that they've purchased. These people become testimonials. They become word of mouth. They become advocates for your brand. They're out telling their friends how cool this thing is that they have, or this relationship that they have with you, or the software that they're using, or you as a coach, if you are a coach, that you are helping them do all of these things. And a great testimony of how someone else is doing something. Oh, well, maybe I should try that too. This type of email also supports a prospect because they get that fear of missing out. They see what success customers are having and they want that for themselves. They see you talking to existing customers about all the cool things that they can do with your product and service, the cool events that people are having in their life because they're using something that you're selling, and they want it. It drives a sale. It creates that fear of missing out. It creates that impetus for action. It creates desire. It creates the desire to click that buy now button. That's something you can do so much more in email than you can do on social media or anywhere else. In email, you can have intimate conversations. You can even segment something like send this to existing customers, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit for people who are prospects. And they're going to get a 10% off coupon to see if this testimonial or this new experience someone just had or this new feature that we have in our product, I'm going to see if it's going to entice them with a 10% off coupon as well. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what happens when somebody has an email list and they haven't mailed to it for a very long time. Because I know a lot of people who have small businesses and they understand that they need to have an email list. So they set up lead capture, they've got a coupon code, they're honoring that coupon code, but then their email list sits stagnant. Now, I had this problem for a while because I switched email service providers, talked about it before, but I had a problem with one, had even more problems with the second one, and now I'm on an email service provider that I really, really love, and I didn't mail to my list for a very long period of time. And then I had to start emailing again, and it's like, oh, hey, it's me again. It's so uncomfortable. If you have let your list languish for like a year, now's the perfect time. You don't have to wait until you have something amazing to tell them. Create a blog post, write a simple article, 800 words of something interesting that they should know, and start the conversation again. You're going to get people who are like, who is this person? I don't remember signing up to this list. And maybe they don't. They probably don't. What? It's been a year. So you're going to get a lot of people who drop off, but you have to start sending very consistently and very persistently. If you're not doing that, you are not growing your list. You are not deepening relationships with your customers. But if you don't start now, then you're never going to be able to start cultivating that email list, start getting to know the people who are on there, and ultimately experiencing more sales. So if you haven't mailed your list for a long time, you don't have to wait. Create one thing that you can mail them on. Do something seasonal, for example. We have what Valentine's Day is happening next week. Have a Valentine's flash sale and mail them about that. And then start a cadence of mailing them about once a week about new things that are going on, blog posts that you've written on your site that might be of interest to them. Start maybe a newsletter. You want to set up a lead generation form on your site with something very specific. Experiment with this. This entire episode is about email marketing. I now have on my podcast site a specific download that you can get with everything on a checklist that you need in order to choose the best email service provider. And I'm going to put everyone who gets that, they're going to go into a sequence where they then get an email series about email best practices. The ultimate goal is something I'll be selling. If you get on that list, you can find out what it is. Do something like that for your business. Let's think about a specific genre. Let's say someone is a fitness coach, and a lot of people are looking at springtime. They're looking at summertime, even though it's 75 degrees here in beautiful Texas. There's a lot of people who are experiencing 0 degrees right now. Summer seems a long way off. It's something you can plan for. If your audience is waiting for summer to get that beach bod and you are a fitness coach, it is a perfect time to create a lead generation for springtime fitness where people are going to get beach body ready by summertime, right? Create some kind of checklist, create some kind of event, a live stream, anything, and create a lead generation form that goes into your email service provider on one specific landing page on your site that gets them tagged as they are interested in this one thing, and then start an email sequence with them. It could just be 5 emails, and ultimately maybe the ultimate pitch is to sign up for coaching, maybe a sprint coaching of 6 weeks to get people jump started into better fitness. Something like this that is getting people ready for summer. I'm sure there's something in your business that could be seasonal or something that you can offer in the future, or maybe even if you have a checklist of your own that you use in your business every day, get it prettied up in Canva or something. Hire a designer on Fiverr to just make it pretty and use that as a PDF free download that you can give someone and then nurture them in an email sequence that ultimately can lead to a sale. I hope that idea resonates with you. Email marketing is one of the most powerful tools to nurture an audience, to deepen connections, and to grow your business. All of the statistics show you how effective email marketing is. If you are not doing email marketing, no matter what you're doing, I consult with some people who are starting new podcasts and they're just like, well, I'm just going to put it out on Spotify. Spotify's free. It's easy. It does all these other, and it's great, but don't just put out a podcast. Have a podcast or have a blog or have some kind of marketing, YouTube channel, anything that you're doing, but don't neglect the email marketing aspect of things. Otherwise, you're just going to have drive-by audience. Sure, you might get a few subscribers here and there, but there's nothing like having someone on an email list where you can deepen that connection, where you can nurture them in a learning process, nurture them in a relationship with you, where you can actually grow your business so much easier, so much better. If you're interested in learning more about email marketing, in the show notes, there is a link to a landing page that I want you to copy. Take this idea. You can fill that landing page out and I will send you a PDF of best practices for email marketing and how to choose an email service provider and all of the things to look for. I just went through this process last fall, so I'm going to take all of that pain, turn it into some benefit for you. You can go get that. It's in the show notes. It's in the link on description down below on YouTube. Click on that link. Give me your email. I'm going to show you how I'm doing an email nurture sequence. If we're going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can see what I'm doing and see what I'm selling at the end. So all of that is available on the site. I would love to see you on my email list and we will see where our relationship goes. And of course, I don't spam. That's another thing I just want to mention. As a former security person, well, still kind of a security person. I think everybody's a security person in the world we live in now, but you need to follow the rules. You need to make sure that you're not spamming. You need to really respect people's inbox. They invited you in there as a guest. The email inbox is not like, Instagram. It is someplace where people pay their bills, talk to their mom, send emails to friends they haven't seen in a very long time. It is way more than social media, so respect it. And provide value. It's a place where you can have a much more intimate and much more valuable conversation. And because of that, it's something you really need to respect. So I'll leave that as a final note. If you're new here, I'd love a thumbs up if any of this was helpful to you. I would love a subscribe or a follow, depending on whatever platform you are listening or watching to this. Go visit the show notes. There's links there and some statistics, as well as that link to that landing page that I want you to steal. Take this idea, and that PDF will have some basic instructions on how to get started doing that. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and we will talk to you soon.